minus 20 degrees in Toronto, plus 14 in Calgary. That is a 34-degree difference between two cities in the same country on the same night. If you are anywhere east of Manitoba right now, what happens after midnight tonight could be dangerous. And if you are in Alberta, what I am about to tell you will shock you for a completely different reason. Stay with me for the next few minutes because I am going to walk you through exactly when this Arctic blast hits your city, when it peaks, and most importantly, when it finally lets go. And at the 5-minute mark, I will reveal which major Canadian city could see the most dangerous conditions overnight, and it is not the one you think. But first, drop a comment right now telling me where you are watching from, your city, your province. I will respond with a specific forecast tailored to your area. Do it now before you forget. Let us start with the big picture because this is not a normal February night. A massive Arctic high-pressure system has pushed straight down from the polar regions. Everything from Ontario to the Maritimes is buried under frigid, dry air. We are talking about air that started its journey near the North Pole and has traveled thousands of kilometers south with almost nothing to warm it up along the way. Meanwhile, on the other side of the country, a Chinook wind is turning Calgary into the warmest major city in Canada tonight. And Vancouver? Vancouver is just being Vancouver. Mild, gray, wet, completely unbothered. Now here is what most forecasts will not tell you. This cold is not just uncomfortable. At minus 20 with any breeze at all, exposed skin can develop frostbite in as little as 10 to 15 minutes. That is not a scare tactic. That is medical fact. And that is exactly what Toronto is facing tonight. Let me break this down city by city. Toronto first, because that is where the most extreme cold is hitting right now. Toronto peaked at a daytime high of minus 13 degrees Celsius today. Let that sink in. The high was minus 13. And tonight, temperatures are forecast to plummet to minus 20. Clear skies overnight, which sounds pleasant until you understand the science. Clear skies in winter mean there is no cloud cover acting as a blanket. Heat escapes straight up into space. The ground, the air, your skin, everything loses warmth rapidly. For everyone across the Greater Toronto Area, Mississauga, Brampton, Scarborough, North York, Etobicoke, you are all in this together. Temperatures will hover around minus 4 to minus 5 early this evening before sliding into the deep freeze after midnight. The peak cold hits between 3 and 5 in the morning. By sunrise Sunday, you will still be sitting near minus 18 to minus 20. Here is something fascinating happening right now. Lake Erie, the shallowest of the Great Lakes, could reach 100% ice coverage during this cold snap. That is rare. When it happens, it actually shuts down the lake effect snow machine that southern Ontario usually depends on. So instead of snow, you get this dry, penetrating cold that cuts straight through clothing. Do not underestimate it. Please, tonight of all nights, check on elderly neighbors. Make sure pets are brought inside. At minus 20, a dog left outside for even 30 minutes can be in serious trouble. This is not the night to take chances with anyone's safety. If you are still watching, do not skip ahead because what I am about to cover for Ottawa and Montreal will change how you prepare for tonight. Ottawa, the nation's capital, 450 kilometers northeast of Toronto, and tonight it is right in the heart of this Arctic air mass. Temperatures are sitting at minus 5 to minus 7 right now, and they will slide to minus 13 to minus 15 overnight. About 1.9 centimeters of light snow fell today, just enough to make side streets slippery. Here is the timing for Ottawa. The snow has tapered off this evening. The real cold settles in after 10 tonight. The deepest freeze hits between 2 and 6 in the morning Sunday. Wind chill in the Ottawa-Gatineau region will make it feel like minus 20 to minus 25. If you are thinking about the Rideau Canal Skateway tonight, the world's largest naturally frozen skating rink, keep your time on the ice short. A quick skate, then into a warming hut for a beaver tail and hot chocolate. That is the smart play. Now Montreal, and this is where it gets interesting, Montreal sits on an island in the St. Lawrence River, and that geography funnels cold wind along the river corridors straight through the downtown core. Current temperature minus 8 to minus 9. Overnight low minus 15 to minus 18 degrees Celsius. The cold starts deepening around 9 tonight and bottoms out between 3 and 5 in the morning. For anyone commuting in Montreal tonight, the underground Rideau system, the largest underground city in the world, is your best friend. You can cross a good chunk of downtown without ever stepping outside. And if you do have to go above ground, cover every centimeter of exposed skin. At minus 15 to minus 18, the cold does not just bite, it takes a chunk out of you. Do not miss the next section. I promised you the most dangerous city at the 5-minute mark, and we are almost there. Quebec City, further northeast along the St. Lawrence, colder than Montreal, which surprises no one. Evening temperatures around -7, but overnight expect -15 to -20. This is Carnaval de Quebec season, one of the world's largest winter festivals. The snow-covered rooftops of the Chateau Frontenac look absolutely magical. But the beauty comes with a price tag measured in degrees below zero. Wind gusting up from the St. Lawrence River creates localized wind chill effects significantly worse than the thermometer shows. Peak cold hits between midnight and 6 in the morning. And here is the reveal I promised. The most dangerous conditions tonight are not in Toronto, even though it is the coldest major city. The most dangerous conditions are in Halifax. And here is why. Halifax is hovering right around the freezing mark, -6 to 0 degrees. That does not sound bad compared to -20. But Halifax has wind, gusts of 30 to 40 kilometers per hour blowing in off the Atlantic. And Halifax has mixed precipitation, rain, snow, freezing drizzle all cycling through. When temperatures sit right at zero and you get alternating patches of rain and cold air, the road surface develops a thin, nearly invisible layer of black ice. That is treacherous. People walking can slip without any warning. Cars can lose traction in an instant. The wind chill drives the felt temperature well below the actual reading on the thermometer. Halifax and Dartmouth across the harbor. This is your night to slow down. Leave extra following distance. Take small steps on sidewalks. Watch where you plant your feet. The danger tonight is not the cold itself. It is what you cannot see on the road's surface. The peak wind and precipitation mix is expected between 9 tonight and 3 in the morning. By Sunday morning, conditions should slowly improve as temperatures drop below freezing and the precipitation shifts to all snow. But those overnight hours are the critical window. Now let us flip the script entirely and talk about the West. Because what is happening in Calgary right now is almost unbelievable. Calgary, 14 degrees Celsius, +14 in February. While Toronto shivers at -20, people in Calgary are walking their dogs in light jackets. The reason is the Chinook, a warm, dry wind that descends the eastern slopes of the Rocky Mountains. When moist Pacific air is forced up and over the Rockies, it drops its moisture on the western slopes. By the time it comes down the east side, it has been compressed and heated dramatically. Temperatures can swing from -20 to +15 in just hours. It is one of the most dramatic weather phenomena on the planet. If you step outside in Calgary tonight and look west, you might see the iconic Chinook Arch, a distinctive band of clear sky along the horizon where the warm air descends from the mountains with a wall of cloud above it. But here is the twist. This warmth is temporary. Over the next 2 to 3 days, Calgary is expected to drop back to its normal February range of -4 to -13. The Chinook dies, the cold rushes back. Enjoy it tonight, Calgary. Take the dog for an extra long walk. This midwinter reprieve will not last. Edmonton, just 300 kilometers north of Calgary, is already feeling the transition. Current temperature around 7 degrees, still above average thanks to the tail end of the Chinook. But the warm air is fading. By midnight, temperatures drop significantly. By Sunday morning, Edmonton will feel like February again. The existing snowpack, roughly 20 to 40 centimeters on the ground, will refreeze into a hard, icy surface. Plug in those block heaters. Use the -40 rated windshield washer fluid. Tomorrow will be a very different day. Vancouver, 5 degrees Celsius tonight with an overnight low of just 2 to 3 degrees. Compared to -20 in Toronto, Vancouver might as well be a tropical resort, but Vancouver pays its own price and the currency is rain. February averages about 22 rainy days in the lower mainland. Total precipitation around 242 millimeters. Tonight, expect overcast skies, drizzle to light rain, and that distinctive gray ceiling Vancouverites know so well. Here's a fun prediction. The forecast suggests a few light snowfall days could pop up over the next couple of weeks, with the closest possibility around February 12th. If that happens, Vancouver will do what it always does when it snows. Grind to a complete halt, generate a week's worth of social media content, and give the rest of Canada something to laugh about. For the skiers, the resorts around Vancouver, Grouse Mountain, Cypress Mountain, and Whistler up the Sea to Sky Highway are reporting excellent conditions. Deep snowpack, well-covered runs, world-class skiing within an hour or two of downtown. Now I almost forgot Winnipeg. And forgetting Winnipeg would be a disservice because if any city in Canada has earned the right to be in every winter weather broadcast, it is Winterpeg. Winnipeg sits in the middle of the prairies, flat as a pancake in every direction, with absolutely nothing between it and the North Pole to block the Arctic wind. Current temperature about 1 degree, surprisingly mild thanks to the same system warming Alberta. But this is temporary. Normal February nights in Winnipeg see -20 to -25. During the worst cold snaps, -35 to -40 is not unheard of. At those temperatures, if you throw a pot of boiling water into the air, it turns to ice crystals before it hits the ground. Tonight, Winnipeg should expect temperatures to start falling sharply after midnight. The wind on the prairies, even when light, creates a wind chill that cuts right through you. Plug in those block heaters. Keep a winter emergency kit in the car. If you are heading out to the Forks tonight, dress like you mean it. One more city, Niagara Falls. Temperatures around 2 to -3 tonight. The falls themselves rarely freeze completely because the volume of water is just too enormous, but the mist freezes on every surface it touches: railings, trees, walkways, observation platforms. The result is a kingdom of ice that glitters under the nighttime lights. With Lake Erie potentially reaching 100% ice coverage, the Niagara region could see truly extraordinary winter scenes in the days ahead. Barrie, north of Toronto near Georgian Bay, -1 to -8 tonight with possible light snow. Barrie sits right in the lake effect snowbelt and gets hammered when cold air passes over the relatively warm waters of Georgian Bay. Keep an eye on conditions overnight. London, Ontario, 1 to -5, also catches heavy lake effect snow and regularly sees some of the highest annual snowfall totals in southern Ontario. Both cities should watch for rapidly changing conditions before sunrise. Let me give you the summary one more time because this matters. Eastern Canada is locked in a deep Arctic freeze. Toronto, -20 overnight. Ottawa, -13 to -15 with light snow. Montreal, -15 to -18. Quebec City, even colder. Halifax, wind and black ice are the real threats. The prairies are in transition. Calgary is basking in a Chinook at 14 degrees, but it will not last. Edmonton is cooling. Winnipeg should brace for the return of serious cold after midnight. The West Coast is mild and wet. Vancouver, 2 to 5 degrees with rain. Here is what I need everyone to do tonight. If you are in Eastern Canada, stay home if you can. Layer up if you cannot. Check on elderly neighbors. Bring your pets inside. If it is too cold for you, it is too cold for them. If you are driving, make sure your winter tires are on, your battery is charged, and you have blankets, a flashlight, and snacks in the trunk. If you are in Calgary, count your blessings and enjoy every minute of that Chinook warmth before it disappears. Go for that evening walk. Sit on a patio if you can find one open. This kind of midwinter gift does not come often. If you are in Vancouver, do not forget your umbrella. Although at this point, the umbrella is probably a permanent extension of your arm anyway. And remember, drop a comment below with your city. I will give you a detailed forecast for your specific area. The more specific you are, the better I can help. Tell me your neighborhood, your town, your region. I read every single comment. Now here is what is coming next, and this is important. There is a new system developing in the Pacific that could bring significant changes to the entire country by mid-next week. I am tracking it closely, and in the next forecast, I will break down exactly what that means for your city, including a potential major snowfall event that could disrupt travel across multiple provinces. Early models are showing some very concerning numbers for parts of Ontario and Quebec. You will not want to miss that one. If this forecast helped you prepare for tonight, share it with someone you care about. A neighbor, a family member, someone who might not know what is coming. That is how we look out for each other. Stay warm, stay safe, and look out for each other.